Hey, good morning, good evening, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about one of the important concepts in Java. It's exception handling. Let's get started. What are exceptions? It's a unusual or unexpected events during the program execution. This can occur for various reasons: user input error, hardware failures, or missing files. Represented in Java by the exception class and its subclasses. Why handle exceptions? To prevent the program from crashing abruptly, allow graceful recovery, and continuation of the execution helps to maintain the integrity and reliability of the application. Impact of unhandled exceptions leads to abnormal termination of the programs, can result in data losses or corruption. So if you take an example, you logged into your bank account and want to transfer money from your account to one of your relatives account. So there are sequence of programs maybe executing it in the backend, right? When you initiate the transfer after you logged into your bank account and initiate the transfer, assume that all are Java programs, right? You have two or three programs. One program to check your login credentials, username, password. If they are matching, they will the program will let the person get in and you initiated the transfer. There are two programs that need to be running. First, it will check whether you have enough balance to transfer the money to your family member account. In your account, if you don't have the sufficient amount, what happens if the application or your Java program crashes? You will be from the browser you might have initiated it. If the application in the backend crashes, you will not see any message so on your browser. That is called exception or error handling, right? When there is not sufficient balance, as a user you expect to say that, hey, you don't have the sufficient balance, please add the fund so that we can transfer the money, right? That is the importance of the error and exception handling in the real life applications. Let's see what are the different types of exceptions. There are checked exceptions. Checked exceptions must be caught or declared in the method signature. You know what methods are, right? A class contains attributes and methods. Method signature is nothing but method definition. A checked exception must be defined so in the method signature, so that the JVM knows that, hey, there is this kind of error or exception coming in. There are unchecked exceptions that include runtime exceptions like out of memory error. If you have a application server or a server in which Java is running, it has around 12 gig RAM, right? If you are trying to load your weather data, which is 20 gig, your Java application or the configuration of the server is not supporting 20 GB, so it is having only 12 GB RAM. During the time where the Java programs throws out of memory kind of error, right? Don't worry if you don't get the concepts. We are going to do a small simple program for you to get a hands-on understanding of this exception handling. I'm going to share that information and the code also so that you can download and do that. Okay, the way we handle the exceptions, checked or unchecked exceptions in Java, using try catch block. What is try catch block? They are like a wrapper. A try block wraps the code that might throw an exception. The catch block catches and handles the exception. Okay, this is how we write the code in Java. Try, let's take example, int result equal to 10 by 0. What we are trying to do is, here we are trying to divide number 10 with 0. Then exception happens. This exception is caught in the catch block and we are just printing the message to the console. There is another block is called finally block. This finally block executes always, ideal for cleanup like closing the file streams or database connections. So reading the data from the database is a costly operation. So that means it takes more time for your Java program to go to the database, check whether the database is up and running, and open a connection and read it. Generally, in the finally block, we will close the database connection once we read the data. Okay, That's what the second line, ideal for cleanup activities. Those are little advanced concepts, but for our Java in 1 hour video, we are not going to cover it. I will cover it as a part of another video. But for you to understand exceptions, if you know that there are checked exceptions, unchecked exceptions, we will handle the exceptions using try and catch block and finally block. This is how we write the finally block. Okay. There are other two keywords or blocks. One is throw and throws. Throw is used to explicitly throw an exception. So we can also, instead of runtime program throwing the exception, we can use throw new exception. Programmatically, we can throw the exception also. There is a throws class that is used in the method signature. Example, public void method name throws exception, right? So you can see on the right hand side, we have this example throw throws. Here there is a try block. Here we are trying to divide the number by passing 10 and 0, and these two values will be passed to the corresponding variables. Here what we are trying to do is we are first checking whether the denominator is 0. If it is 0, then we are using this throw word keyword, throw new arithmetic exception. So before even we are dividing 10 with 0, we are checking whether if the 0 is the denominator, then throw the exception. Here we are saying that, hey, this method can potentially throw this arithmetic exception. In the caller method, in the caller, we are trying to catch this. So this is at the high level, throw, throws, checked, unchecked. And let's go and take one program and execute it. Then it becomes easy for you, right? Let's try with first block, right? First example is example try block. Here we are trying to divide this number. Let's clean this one up and let's run and see what happens. See here, can't divide by 0. Let's change this 0 to 10 and see what happens. See, we didn't get that message. Means the Java didn't go into this block. So arithmetic exception is not thrown. This is about try catch block. Let's go to try catch and finally block. Here we are trying to do 10 by 10 and divide 10 with 10. We are not expecting to see this, and finally block will be executed always, right? Let's clean this one up and let's run this program. We are expected to see only the finally block. Let's change this. Let's throw this exception. Let's divide 10 with 0 and let's run this one. I'm running this Java program. Now you can see cannot divide by 0 and also finally block executed. Generally this, like I explained, this finally block will be used to clean up the database connections or expensive memory intense or resource intense cleanup we will be doing in the finally. Let's see throw and throws also. Okay, the same, we are trying to divide. There is a method divide method. As you know, when we run this program, the control comes here. It calls this divide method. Divide method is having two parameters, 10 and 10. So it checks whether 10, the denominator equals to 0. Here the denominator is 10, so it will not go through this, control will not go through this. So we will see only this block will be executed. Let's see this. Right. Now let's change this denominator to 0. Save it. I pressed Ctrl S. Now close this and we will run. So we are expected to see the division by 0 is not allowed, right? This one is thrown and the information came here caught because we are throwing this message and we are outputting this message. Got it? This is how we reviewed try catch block, finally block, and throw and throws block. Let's go back to the presentation and wrap it up. Thank you everyone for joining me in this Java in 1 hour series, and wish you all the best. If you need any help, please write to me. I will try to respond back as soon as I can in 1 or 2 days, and try to make sure you are able to successfully learn and execute all these programs. I will copy the code, this code, uh, in the GitHub and share the link. Wish you all the best. Once again, thank you so much. Bye for now.